one of the hottest things to watch right now on the WWE Network is a documentary called Journey to WrestleMania, Daniel Bryan. It's about an hour long, and this video is going to be a review of that documentary. Welcome back, everyone. This is Jason. Yeah, I from WrestleMania till now, I watched it probably like 5 times, but I never until now watched it like all the way through. I was always had it on in the background while I was doing other things, cleaning or whatever. Now I finally sat down and watched the whole thing from start to finish. Man, it's such a good story. Right off the bat, I compared it to just how it was produced, how it looked. Very similar to the CM Punk DVD that came out last year, year before, whenever it was, because it contained, current stuff, a past history, and a lot of stuff in between, and interviews and stuff. So in that way, it was very similar to that. So if you haven't seen it, by all means, get the network, and get it. You have to have the network to see it. Get on the network and look it up. It's under original programming. But yeah, if you've seen the CM Punk DVD, the documentary part of it, it's very much like that. This documentary covers a WrestleMania diary, going day by day, the week leading up to WrestleMania 30, and behind the scenes conversations he has with fellow co-workers like Seth Rollins, his fiance, well, his wife now, but at the time fiance, Brie Bella, John Cena, just different people. It also shows him on media day, in interviews, at different events around town, like charity events, on the red carpet, all dressed up, and like he says, in the middle there, when he's doing the media and he's all dressed up in a suit, he's like, I can't wait to to get out of this suit and get in my my spandex or his trunks or whatever he says, and and he's much more comfortable in his ring gear. But it goes all the way back to when he was training. Showed him training and wrestling in his early days at the Shawn Michaels Academy, and showed a lot of early footage of Ring of Honor, and showed him wrestling the likes of Cesaro and Seth Rollins, who they interview for this documentary too, talking about his past, his character, everything, which was really nice to see. The one thing I gotta say off the bat that's missing from this, it would have been nice to see CM Punk included in that, because they both came up together at about the same time and faced each other and had a hell of a history before everything current. And yeah, that unfortunately with CM Punk a giant question mark behind his name right now. We don't get that. Maybe in the future, if they do like a full release of a documentary of, Daniel Bryan, and do a good solid like hour and a half long or 2 hour long history thing of Daniel Bryan, they'll include stuff with CM Punk. It'd be nice, it really would, because it's one of the biggest parts of his history. And yeah, I know this was about WrestleMania, but if you're gonna talk about his history, you got to talk about CM Punk, man. I'm sorry, it's true. And the only other thing I would have included too, which they probably couldn't get the rights to, obviously, was just a little bit of footage of his stuff in Japan. I'm just now finding some of that stuff, and man, that stuff is sick. It shows really how good he is. Really how good he is. I just saw a match. I'm going off subject just for a second here, bear with me. I just saw a match today on YouTube of him versus Kenta, because now there's rumors floating that Kenta's coming to the WWE. So I was curious, and I watched it, and oh my god, just do yourself a favor, go look it up. Alright, back on subject now. Sorry. Yeah, this documentary talks about, where was I? Oh, the Shawn Michaels Academy, going through Ring of Honor, showed segments of, bits matches with Cesaro and Seth Rollins back in Ring of Honor, and yeah, just so cool to see that old footage. And then talked about how he then at was it 2009? No, early 2010 was brought into NXT. Was the first big NXT thing, and showed how just ridiculous it all was. The things that they made the first couple classes of NXT just humiliating things, had nothing to do with wrestling. It was just horrible. And the fact that they stuck him with the Miz, it's funny. The Miz was such a pompous ass back then, and he's still cocky, but he's a little more on the likable side now. And the fact that they put those two together, God, what, like putting oil in water, jeez Louise. And in him getting fired, after the Nexus incident where they trashed the ring and he choked out was it Justin Roberts, the announcer? So he was gone from June until August 2010. And while he was gone, he set up a bunch of independent dates that actually went past August and went to into September and October, I believe. But I was fortunate enough to see Bryan Danielson wrestle with Dragon Gate USA. And I don't know how to put the whole picture in the video. I'm still working on that. But and this is a horrible picture, so I'm apologizing. I hope it shows up on here. I had the pleasure of meeting him because he came to town in Milwaukee. It's called Ronin, something like that. Dragon Gate USA. It was one of his last independent dates before he was welcomed back into the WWE after being fired. And there it is. Me and, come on. Me and the man, the dragon, right there. Um, so yeah, had the pleasure of meeting him, and I'll tell you what's the nicest part of this. One of the nicest parts of this documentary. Looking at how far he's come in the last 4 years since I've met him. Had no clue that back then, getting my picture taken with him, even though he was going back into the big leagues of the WWE, that he was going to be riding on top of the WWE, headlining WrestleMania 30 and becoming the World Heavyweight Championship WWE champion. And he's still humble. He's not even comfortable in that top of the league, skin he's wearing now. That's refreshing to see that things haven't gone to his head and he hasn't turned into an ass. It's you're in the spotlight 24/7. You're doing media all the time now because you're that top guy, one of the top guys. Man, he doesn't even like pictures of himself up on the wall in his home. That's how humble he is. And Bree's like, why don't we put this up? And he's like, no way. It's like, wow, So yeah, it's nice to see. There's little interviews throughout the whole thing with John Cena, The Miz, Brie Bella, talking about their relationship and this being in the spotlight and juggling everything leading up to WrestleMania. Pat Patterson, Stone Cold gets talked to, William Regal, and then, like I said, Seth Rollins and Cesaro talking about the old days in Ring of Honor, which is nice to see. And it wraps it up by saying, what else is there to do now that you've reached this level? What is there to accomplish now that you've headlined WrestleMania 30? And he's like, do it again. And I wonder if that's a little foretelling of the future. Is he going to maintain this level of popularity leading into this next year now, 2014, and leading into the 2015, leading up to WrestleMania 31? It'd be nice to see. He deserves it. He's one of the hardest working guys in the industry. Even now that he's hit the big leagues, he's still working hard. And just a hell of a guy, and that's why he's become so popular. It's because people see that he's not some pompous ass, and he's a real person, and he's not let fame go into his head. And just a great guy, he really is. I'm proud to say that I met the guy. So yeah, what's next for him? How long is he going to be champion? Is he going to headline next year? I'll tell you what, if he does headline next year, one more WrestleMania, I'd like to see it with CM Punk. Period. Because honestly, if all this hype wasn't going on with Daniel Bryan, should have been CM Punk headlining this year. Totally. In my opinion, love it or hate it, whatever. That's what I think. So, go see this documentary if you have not seen it yet. If you have seen it, put it in the comments. Let me know what you thought of it. What's your favorite part of it? What you thought of it. So, thanks for watching, guys. That's my review. See you soon.